Okay, so in the previous lesson, we had finished naming all the bones for our rig. So what we're going to be doing in this lesson is selecting all the bones on the left side, duplicating them, and mirroring them to the right. Now, in order to do this correctly, when you are working with bones, you actually have to do it in steps. Now, the reason for this is because bones are a special object in Blender, so they are treated differently. So when you mirror the bones to the right side, you'll see that all Blender is going to do is rotate the bones to the right, position them correctly, and then align them so they look like that they have been mirrored. Now, another way that you could look at this is that when you mirror the bones on the right side, all Blender's really doing is scaling the bones along the x-axis at a -1 value. Basically, it's still rotating the bones. So that's a property of bones when you're working with them in edit mode. When you mirror a bone, it's basically rotating a bone on its opposite side. So you'll see how this works once we go through the process. So the first thing that we want to do is go ahead and make sure that the 3D manipulator is back on. This is set on global and snapping is off, and this should be set on increment. And for now, just set this on median point over here. Make sure that you are in the front view, so press the 1 key. Make sure that the armature is selected, and then you have switched to edit mode on the armature. Go under File, do Save As, and save it as a new file, Rigging Lesson 01 f.blend. Now, you can mirror bones in two different ways, so we're going to look at both of them. Okay, so the first thing that we have to do is place the 3D cursor in the center of the rig. So you can just press Shift-C. After the 3D cursor has been placed, we're going to tell Blender that we want to use the 3D cursor as the pivot point. Next, press Ctrl, middle mouse button to zoom in a bit. Now we need to select all the bones on the left side. So go ahead and select any bone that's on the left side. Now notice that when we name the bones that were on the left side, we give it a .l suffix. Now, this has a special meaning in Blender because its counterpart is going to be .r, meaning the bone on the right side. So we're going to see how that concept works in Blender. So once you've selected the bone, we're going to tell Blender to select all the bones that are on the left side that match this bone's suffix, which is .l. Go ahead and click on Select, go to Similar, and then click on Suffix. Next time, we'll use the shortcut key Shift-G. Now, this is only going to select the bones that are on the left side that match the suffix .l. So the suffix can be anything. In this case, it was .l, so of course it's just going to select all the bones on the left side. Go under File, and now go ahead and save it. So we're going to reload this file from this point so we can see how to mirror the bones using a different method. Okay, so you place the 3D cursor, you change to the 3D cursor as the pivot point, and you select all the bones on the left side for both methods. So now we're going to do Shift-D to duplicate the bones. Now notice that when the bones are duplicated and attached to your mouse, Blender adds the .001 suffix to all the bones. This is because all objects inside Blender can only have unique names. Right-click to cancel the movement. Now we're going to mirror these bones. So over here under Armature Mirror, you'll see that we want to use Interactive Mirror, which is Ctrl-M. I'm going to move my mouse away from this. So when we do Ctrl-M, it's going to ask you what axis do you want to mirror on. We're going to select the x-axis. So look on the header when it saves this. Go ahead and do Ctrl-M. Now press X and then the Enter key. Now the bones have been mirrored to the right side. But again, all Blender did was simply rotate the bones. Now if you go ahead and zoom in, you'll notice that the alignment for the bones is actually not correct. This is because the bones have only been rotated. So we're going to tell Blender to fix the alignment. Now the only way to do this is by using this concept of the .L. Basically, we're going to tell Blender to rename all the bones on the right to .R. So we can do that by simply doing W and then do flip names. Okay, and you'll see that it will automatically add the .R suffix. Now do shift middle mouse button to go down over here. So how did Blender know that these bones should be named .R? It's all based on the origin point of your armature. So basically wherever this origin is, it looks at the x-axis and basically draws a perpendicular line over here, and whatever's on the left is .L and whatever's on the right is .R. That's how it knew it. Shift middle mouse button to come over here all the way to the top. Okay, so now we have to fix the alignment for all the bones, right? So how do we do this? So we're going to use the .L and the .R to our advantage. Again, this is only useful in edit mode. So go to the options menu and you're going to click on x-axis mirror. Go ahead and just check this. Now if you right click on the tail of this bone and press the G key and start moving this bone, you'll see that it's going to move the opposite bone with it. And it's going to make sure that the bone on the right is also aligned correctly. We're going to right click to cancel this. Go ahead and click this off. Click this bone, go to the transforms, and for now just click on the roll with your mouse and just move it to whatever number you want to. Now notice that the roll is incorrect over here. That's what's happening to these bones. But if we click on the tail of this bone and make sure that x-axis mirror is on, and when we press the G key, notice that the roll automatically corrects itself. Okay, we're going to right click to cancel this. So this means when we click on the tail over here, press the G key, it's going to do the same thing on the left side. Right click to cancel that. So now to fix the roll of this bone, this simply means that if you select this bone without moving your mouse, just press the G key and then press the enter key. This will now basically fix the alignment of this bone. So when you press the G key and you don't move your mouse, it's simply just going to take the transforms of this bone, mirror them on this bone. That's how you fix it. So this means that if we want to fix the alignments for all the bones on the right side, we simply have to select a bone on the left side, do Shift G, and then click on suffix. Now without moving your mouse, press G and then enter. Now all the bones have been aligned correctly, right? So this is how you mirror the bones. So let's go ahead and reload this file and look at these steps again, but we're going to do them a little quicker. Do A to D select. So all you do is Shift C to place the 3D cursor, move this to the 3D cursor as the pivot point, control middle mouse button just to zoom in a little bit, click on the bone, do Shift G and then select by suffix, do Shift D to duplicate the bone, right click to cancel the movement, Control M, X, enter, then you do W, flip names, then make sure that under the options you click on x-axis mirror, then click on the bone on the left, do Shift G to select by a suffix. Without moving your mouse, press G and then enter. A to D select. So all the bones have been mirrored correctly. Now I'm going to show you how to mirror the bones another way. Go ahead and reload that file up again. So now you understand it's just placing the 3D cursor and making sure that the pivot point is at the 3D cursor and you select all the bones on the left side. So now we have to do the same thing. Do Shift D to duplicate the bones, right click to cancel the movement. But this time we're just going to scale along the x-axis at a -1 value. So press the S key to go into scale mode, press X, and then type in -1, enter. Now do W, flip names, go to options, x-axis mirror, click on this bone, do Shift G, select by suffix. Without moving your mouse, press G and then enter. then A to D select. So now the bones have been mirrored correctly. Go ahead and now save this file. Okay, so now that you have done this, I'm going to show you a few extra things over here that you should understand about using the X-axis mirror. Go ahead and zoom in, shift middle mouse button over here. Now, if you click on this bone and go to the bone tab and open up the relations, you'll notice that we had left this box checked, connected. And as you know that when you duplicate a bone, it's going to uncheck this on the duplicated bone. So if we click on this, you'll see that it's not checked. So when you're dealing with bones that are connected like this right in the center, you don't want to have this box checked. So if you click on this bone, press the G key, you'll see that what's happening, it's not behaving correctly. Remember, this is only in edit mode when you're creating your rigs. So we're going to right click to cancel this, and this time we're going to actually uncheck this. This is because we don't want to remember to check this box on this bone, because that's just something extra to remember, and it's not even necessary to have this connected. Okay, so that's one thing that we're going to do. We're going to do A to D select. Now go ahead and actually zoom out over here, and we're just going to save this file to confirm that we did add this change. Okay, go ahead and zoom in, shift middle mouse button over here. So when you have the X-axis mirror on, you've seen that when you click on the tail of this bone and press the G key, you can basically continue on creating your rig. Meaning that if I right click to cancel this and press the E key to extrude, I can start adding more bones. Okay, left click to confirm this. Notice that when you click on this bone, you still have to go in and give it a new name, but you have to make sure that you add the .l suffix on this one and the .r suffix on this one. Now notice that this R, it's in the middle of the name of the bone, but it's good practice to add it at the end of the bone. Okay, so you know what the left and the R is. Now the other thing is that if we click on this bone, do Shift D to duplicate it, you'll notice that if I left click it, the connection for the parent is always kept intact. Now the other thing is that when you have this option on, let's say if we click on this bone, X and delete it, it's going to delete the bone on the other side. Go ahead and click this one, X and delete this. So this means that because we have to mirror this rig all over again, once we've added our mechanical bones to drive these deformed bones, we're going to basically delete all the bones on the right side. So to do that, we have to make sure that we click this off so it doesn't delete these bones. Okay. Now, the other thing that I want to show you is now taking a look at how did Blender actually even mirror the bones. Remember, it's just rotating them. So I want you to click on this bone. Okay. Now just imagine that we had duplicated this bone. Okay. So what we want to do is actually take this bone and move it on the other side. So to do this, just click the 3D cursor right in the center and press the S key and X, and now move your mouse. So you'll notice that how the bone flips on the other side. This is what Blender is doing. Okay, I'm going to right click to cancel this. Just zoom out, shift middle mouse button over here. Now click on this bone, shift key down this one and this one and this one. Now we're going to basically mimic how Blender was mirroring this. Do Shift D to duplicate, right click to cancel, press the S key and X, move your mouse to the left. You see how the bone is rotating and it ends up over here. So if we set the bone over here and zoom in, shift middle mouse button, you can see that how the roll was not correct. This is why we had to use the X-axis mirror, select all the bones on the right side and press G and enter. So anyways, that's how the mirroring concept works in Blender. So we're going to go ahead and now reload this file over here, control middle mouse button just to zoom in a little bit over here. Okay, and I'm just going to do a final save. So I'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you.